We light our chalice this morning to the words of my colleague Brian Keeley. In times of darkness, we stumble toward the tiny flame. In times of cold, we seek the warming fire. In times of repression, we reach for the lamp of truth. In times of loss, we pray for the comforting light. In times of joy, we light a candle of celebration. Spirit of life, as we kindle this light, help us find what we need this day.
Hello, my beloveds. We're going to call the directions. So, if you could turn your attention to the east. Spirit of the east, spirit of air, of morning, of springtime, be with us as the sun rises in times of beginning, times of planting. Inspire us with the fresh breath of courage as we go forth into new adventures. And now towards the back of the sanctuary to the south. Spirit of the south, spirit of fire, of noontime and summer, be with us through the heat of the day and help us to be ever growing. Warm us with strength and energy for the work that awaits us. And then towards the street, that is the west. Spirit of the west, spirit of water, of evening and autumn, be with us as the sun sets and help us to enjoy a rich harvest. Flow through us with a cooling, healing quietness and bring us peace. And then towards me, spirit of the north, spirit of earth, of nighttime and winter, be with us in the darkness, in the time of gestation. Ground us in the wisdom of the changing seasons as we celebrate the spiraling journey of our lives. Blessed Solstice.
Would you please join together in our opening hymn found in your gray hymnal, number 235, Deck the Hall with Boughs of Holly, and please rise in body or in spirit. Deck the halls with boughs of holly, la 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 la. 'Tis the season to be jolly, la 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 la. Don we now our gay apparel, la 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 la. Don the ancient la 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 la. See the blazing Yule before us, la 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 la. Strike the harp and join the chorus, la 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 la. Follow me in merry measure, la 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 la. While I tell of Yuletide treasure, la 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 la. Fast away the old year passes, fa la 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 la. Hail the new ye lads and lasses, la 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 la. Sing we joyous all together, la 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 la. Heedless of the wind and weather, la 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 la. Please be seated. So, as is our solstice tradition, we have, instead of a sermon, an opportunity to act out together something of the solstice itself. So I want to invite anyone who does not have a solstice script to raise your hand, and we'll make certain you get one. So this is for everyone, and we're going to need everyone to do this. And this includes those of you who are joining us on Zoom this morning. If you would like to also take part in our solstice play, you will find a link to the script being placed in the chat right now. And when in a moment I call for parts, if you would indicate to Bruce, and Bruce, you can tell me if someone wants to play a part, then we will include you, and your voice will come over the loudspeaker here in the system in the sanctuary, and we hope that we can combine our community together. We will have to engage in a little bit of patience, perhaps because of technology. But I want us to imagine that what we have before us and around us is a sacred grove and a barnyard. And in order for us to appreciate these two particular places, we're going to need a number of voices. I am going to need 15 narrators. Now, you can choose to be a narrator for more than one. You get to decide which one you want. I need 3 gnomes. I need 2 roses, which are sprites, and another sprite named Daffodil, a sprite named Elder Blossom, a fox, a sprite named Lilac, a sprite named Dandelion. I need a maiden and mother, an old wise one, and I need mice and hens. Right? So, who would like to narrate? So, how about you take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay? I need 3 gnomes. You know who you are. Who wants to be a gnome? 1, you're gnome 1, you're gnome 2, and gnome 3. The little gnome over here, right? I need 2 rose sprites. 1 rose sprite, 1 more, 2 rose sprites. I need Daffodil, the sprite Daffodil. Who wants to be Daffodil? Daffodil. Elder Blossom. Elder Blossom, David. Let's see. Lilac. Would you be Lilac? I need a fox. Oh, Chuck is going to be the fox. All right. I need Dandelion. Dandelion. I need Maiden Mother. Who wants to be? Oh, we'll do it back here. Maiden Mother. All right. Old Wise One. Old Wise One. Little typecast. Never. No. I need mice. I can have more than 1 mouse. Mices. Mice. All right. You'll be a mice. You can be mice. I need hens. Hen. Excellent. All right. So, because we are in a pandemic, and let's see here. Oh, did we have anyone that came on who said they wanted to do? No one online? Okay. All right. So, and then there will be other times when I'm going to invite you all to play other parts. Right? Because that's the way we do it. So I want you to close your eyes. And who's narrator 1, 2, and 3? I want you to imagine the world is filled with snow. Evergreen trees, sort of heavy with snow. The wind is brisk. The air is crisp. It is evening, and the sun is setting. It all is quiet on this Scandinavian farm. Go ahead.
A group of little fairies huddled in their home deep under the roots of a giant oak tree. They were safe and snug in their tiny underground cave, lined with dandelion fluff, bird feathers, and dried moss. Outside, the wind blew cold, and the snow fell softly down to cover the ground. Meanwhile, the tomcat.
Turn it toward your mouth. Just put it toward your mouth. You don't have to change it.
Meanwhile, the Tomten, a little old gnome who the fairies called Brown Nobby, awoke from his corner of the hayloft on the old farm he guarded this time of year. He only came out at night when all the other beings on the farm were asleep. No one has ever seen him, but they know old Tomten is there. Sometimes they wake up to find his footprints in the snow around the cowshed and in between the other buildings. First, he visits the cowshed. The cows are dreaming of summer days and green fields for grazing. The old gnome talks to them in a secret language that only animals understand.
Who's the gnome? Ah. Now, so let's see. The cowshed, right? What do cows that are dreaming sound like? Come on. I need to hear it. Dreaming cows? Ghost cows is what we got, right? Ooh. Ooh. All right.
Winters come and winters go. Summers come and summers go. Soon you can graze in the green grass.
Then off to his old barn where the Dobbin, the old horse, and the sheep were asleep. Old Tomten knew they too were dreaming of the summer when the fields of clover were lush and sweet. Away to the house the gnome silently crept, tiptoeing to the cots where the children slept. And he stood there looking for a very long time.
So we need sleeping sheep and horses. Here we go. Come on. Over here. Sleeping sheep and horses. And then sleeping children. At least that's what I was like as a child. Go ahead.
If they would only wake up, then I could talk to them too. Children would understand the old secret language, but they need their rest.
Is that on? Here, swap this.
Then old Tomten set out for the giant oak tree to check on the fairies before heading to the celebration in the sacred grove. Before he arrived, the fairies were aflutter with worry.
Rose. Who's Rose? Neither of those are working. Let me hold on for just a second. I'm sorry. There it is.
I saw the Sun King today. He looked so old and tired as he walked off through the forest. What is wrong with him?
And Daffodil? Who's Daffodil? Oh.
The great oak said he's dying.
And Little Meadowgrass. Anyone? Try it. You just go ahead and be Little Meadowgrass.
Dying? Oh, what will we do now? If the Sun King dies, our little plant friends will not grow. The birds will not come and sing again. Everything will be winter forever.
Lilac, Dandelion, and Elder Blossom tried to comfort their friend, But they were all very sad. As they huddled together, there was a knock on the tiny door.
Open up, fairies! Why are you hiding instead of joining us in the solstice celebration?
Rose opened the door, and the little gnome, Brown Nobby, pushed inside, shaking the glistening snowflakes off his brown coat and hat.
Daffodil?
We are too sad to celebrate. The Sun King is dying, haven't you heard?
He is dead, you silly fairies. Now hurry, or we'll be late for the celebration.
How can you be happy and laughing? If the Sun King is dead, it will be winter always. We will never see the sun again.
Where?
Silly little child fairies. There is a secret to the winter solstice. Don't you want to know what it is?
Now, all the fairies. Secret? What secret? We are only new little fairies, so silly gnome. We've never been to a solstice celebration before. Who's the second gnome? All right, we'll just go back to our favorite. You gotta dance. Oh, wait a minute. There it is. There we go. So you're going to have to stand and dance and jig. It's on. Go ahead. And then can you say the words? Come and see.
Come and see. Get your capes and come with me. Hurry, hurry, don't be slow. To the sacred oak grove through the snow.
Rose. Where's Rose?
What did that gnome mean?
Whoop. And meadowgrass? Anyone? I don't know, but the lady lives in the sacred grove. Perhaps we go to see the goddess. She can explain what Brown Nobby Gnome is talking about. And see. We will return in a moment. I got more microphones than I know what to do. You're sitting on the edge of your seat. Good. That's the way it should be. Okay. So we have entered the climactic pause when no one knows what's going to happen next. Will they find the sacred grove? Will the fairies understand that while the Sun King has died, it's not forever? Or will darkness descend upon the earth and all her creatures forever? Stay tuned, my friends. We come to that time in our service when we're given pause to consider what is deepest in our pockets. That which is symbolic of our own efforts, but also symbolic of what we value, because we have the power and capacity to be able to help shape the world around us because of the gifts we share, not only in terms of our financial support, but of our time and our talent and our energy, our purpose and our passion. And this congregation has stepped up incredibly well this year. Over almost $9,500 were donated by this congregation and other congregations in solidarity with us through our emergency fund for a host of reasons this year. For homeless outreach, for medications, for rental assistance, and for fuel assistance, for children's clothing and winter coats, for the opportunity to make certain that people had a place to stay when they found themselves suddenly homeless. $9,500. That's a lot of money for a small congregation. And we're grateful for the partnership with other congregations in the area that saw fit to assist us in our endeavor to make certain that no one in our community went without what was necessary for their own survival. So on this day, I invite you to consider participating in our offering. For those of you online, you're welcome to participate in our offering by either texting 508-231-5335 or by visiting www.uucworcester.org. For those of you who are present in the sanctuary, if you would like to contribute a special offering this morning, you found with your order of service an envelope marked the minister's discretionary fund for emergency fund. You're welcome to place your offering in there and fill out the information in order that we might be able to include that money in our reports back to you about what you've given to the church. So at this time, our morning offering will be received. We come to that time in our service when we're given pause to consider what is deepest in our hearts or most profoundly on our minds, or in the work of our hands in the days that have transpired, or in the prospect of days to come. Joys and sorrows that touch us deeply and are given another measure of meaning because of our capacity to share them in the midst of a company that claims us as a co-journeyer. So I invite those of you who have joys or sorrows this morning to come forward to speak into the microphone, telling us first who you are so that those using our auditory enhancement devices might also participate in this important ritual, and then to light a candle of joy or sorrow if you'd like. If you're online and you would like to share a joy or sorrow, please do put it in the chat, preceded by please read so that we can find it quickly and we will share it amongst people as well. Are there joys or sorrows to be shared this day?
Good morning. I just wanted to mention that today is the last drop-off day for the shoe boxes. The person from ACE will be here at 1 o'clock. Thank you very much for everything you did. Almost all the shoe boxes are in as of right now.
Hi, I'm Sherry, and I wanted to share this morning with you my gratitude for this community. Over the last 2 years, I have gone from a volunteer at IHN to COVID relief staff, to administrative assistant, to housing specialist, and now to program director. Couldn't have done it without you. Thanks.
Couple of things. I had the joy this week of helping to put on lunch with the minister, and 20 people showed up. It was really quite a miraculous event. I think Aaron would agree. And we had a great time. And so I thank everybody who helped, especially to clean up. This church is just wonderful in pitching in when you really want it to happen. My second thing is I'm Nancy, and I grew up in this church. So my sister Jill just had a knee replacement. It was 3 days after one of our members, Joanna Spencer, did, and Joanna was at lunch with the minister. So I was really joyful that she actually could make it and that I could see someone recovering just like my sister is down in State College, Pennsylvania. That was really cool. And the third thing is, being Swedish, I brought in some tomtas. Now, tomten is the plural of tomta. So all my life, it was little tomtas that came to our house. And they're on the green table there, if anyone wants to look at them afterwards.
Hi, I'm Maggie, Kate's sister, as everybody knows. my adopted niece in the back rooting me on. But I'm just so full of emotion every time I come here, between thankfulness and joy. That pew 7 and 8 right there is literally my whole heart. And it's just so wonderful to come. I'm gonna miss Vespers tonight, even though my nieces are, speaking in it, but happy holidays to everybody. I brought my mom along this time, the woman who dragged us to church at age, 5 and 10 or whatever our age gap is. But we were always in these pews every Sunday, and now we've got the generations to come. So thank you, and happy holidays.
I also want to say happy holidays to everybody. My name's Catherine. What I'm thinking about is something I just found out this morning. So in 1970, when my grandfather died suddenly right before Christmas, my father decided to assemble the extended family on Christmas Eve and play Santa, and we started a tradition of a talent show. And I remember my aunt getting up and reciting Casey at the Bat, and we'd sing non-Christmas songs like, "Will he ever return? No, we'll never return." And it became this big family tradition. And we've come together every Christmas. And even last Christmas during the pandemic, we did it. We did it outside with big fires. And there are about 70 of us, this big extended family that's grown so much. And we're not meeting this year because of the pandemic, because the woman who usually hosts it, my cousin, has chosen not to get vaccinated. So the family's just said, we're taking a year off. And it makes me a little sad. But I'm happy to be here with this community. And Christmas Eve is going to be particularly unusual for me this year because it started when I was just in first grade. Thanks.
Morning, I'm Kim. Quick prayer for my father-in-law who just had knee surgery last week and is really struggling. But really, this is such a joyous time, and I have a major concern. I want a prayer said for the school teachers, the staff, the administration, and the bus drivers in the wake of the fear that we've all gone through in bringing kids back to school and trying to keep them safe. I mean, we just want to teach and love these kids. And the fear that we had on Friday caused most schools to see a dip in their attendance by 1/3. The school I work at has over 600 kids, and we had 181 absences, some for sickness and COVID, I'm sure, but that was a huge jump from Thursday, and I don't know what we're going to see this week. So please keep the teachers and the staff, and the bus drivers are quitting, and it's a horrible time, but please keep all of them in your thoughts.
Hi, I'm Cheryl Lachey, and I know she's not physically present in this room, but if everybody would say happy birthday to Diane Mann.
Happy birthday, Diane.
Thank you.
Bruce, are there any other? Okay. I also want to extend healing thoughts to many members of the congregation who are suffering with colds and all kinds of sore throats and things that are happening. I went through this week and dove under the sheets for 15 hours and came out a better person for it. So I strongly recommend giving your body what it needs. I want to hope that the return of my winter cold means that there's some kind of normalcy descending on the world, because I haven't had one for 2 years, and that suggests that perhaps things are better, but I am extraordinarily concerned, as I know many of you are, about the state of the pandemic and what we face as a community, especially as we enter the holidays. And I want to encourage you all to take care of yourselves as bodies, for you are a good gift. Let us be in the spirit of prayer and meditation. Spirit of life, as we enter the season of winter solstice, help us be mindful that we are all bright lights in the darkness. Let us care for each other and apply our energy in ways that make the world bright and beautiful. Help us protect the vulnerable and help us remember the joy of this season in the small faces of children and gnomes, in the voice of those who call us to witness once again the beauty of all winged creatures, and for the opportunity to share once again in the story of the season, to play for a bit on the forming edge of our own existence and to remember that childlike self that once experienced the world as a place to inhabit deeply. Let us return to that. Help us become better in our relations with each other and with all creation, this season and forevermore. Amen. And blessed be. So where were we? Ah, yes. We were headed for the sacred grove. Am I correct? Yes. So we need to envision before us a sacred grove with all manner of wonderfully colorful flowers and trees. And we return to the narrator who informs us of the next part of our venture.
The fairies left their snug little home and trudged through the snow toward the sacred oak grove. The forest was dark, with only the light of the moon shining down through the thick fir branches and bare limbs of maple and hawthorn. It was very difficult for them to get through the snow because they were very, very small. As they waded through the wet snow and shivered in the cold wind, they met a fox.
Where are you going, fairies?
And all the fairies? To the sacred grove!
Climb on my back, and I will take you there swiftly.
The fox knelt down so the fairies could climb up. Then he raced through the dark. Then, nearing the grove of sacred trees,
Listen, someone is singing happy songs. A lot of someone's.
The beautiful music carried over the cold, still, moonlit air. It was the most beautiful music the fairies had ever heard. The fox carried the fairies right to the edge of the stone altar in the center of the grove, then knelt down.
Look! Where's the maiden? There's the maiden. Where's the mother? The mother! And the old wise crone and many other little people.
They are all smiling and happy. All the animals are here too. Why are they all looking at the mother?
Narrator 9.
the fairies moved closer to the three ladies seated on the altar stone. The mother held a bundle close in her arms, smiling down at it. The maiden reached down and took the fairies gently in her hands. She held them close to the mother so they could see what she held.
A baby! A new little baby! Look how he glows!
He is the newborn Sun King.
But Brown Nobby and the old oak tree said the Sun King was dead. How can this little baby be the Sun King? The old wise one is down here. Forever young.
That is the great secret of the winter solstice. Every year, the Sun King must come to the sacred grove during the darkest days of winter, where he dies. I take his spirit to the mother, who gives him new life again. This is the way for all creatures, not just the Sun King.
You mean everything lives and dies and lives again?
Yes, little ones, there is never an end to life. This is the great mystical secret of the winter solstice.
Rose. Rose. Were you never Rose? No.
I think the little Sun King should have gifts. I will show him where the wild roses bloom in the early summer.
And I will teach him to call the birds and listen to the songs of the wind.
Mother. You're the mother. Yeah.
When he is older and stronger, then the flowers will bloom at his touch. The birds will return to sing their songs, and the air will be warm from his breath. And winter will be gone for a time. Then the Sun King will run and play with you in the forest.
You're telling, oh, good, there you go.
The little fairies sang to the baby Sun King songs of the coming spring, the sweet smelling flowers, the bumbling bees, and all the secrets of the forest. Then the fox took them back to their snug home under the roots of the giant oak, where they dreamed wonderful dreams, waiting for the warmth of spring and the fun they would have with the little Sun King. Meanwhile, the fox, whose name was Reynard, by the way, was hungry from his trip with the fairies to the sacred grove, and he crept about the farm looking for something good to eat. He snuck around the cowshed thinking, what do cows care about a fox? But the cowshed mice were awake.
Who are our nieces?
Come on, Reynard. Catch us if you can. We have a hole in the floor. Ask the cat. She'll tell you. Come on, Reynard. See if you can catch us.
The mice quickly scampered to their hole behind the hay-filled manger. Who cares for mice, thought the fox. There are better things to eat that taste much better. So Reynard crept to the hen house. All was silent until one of the hens heard the crunch of snow just outside the door.
Narrator 13. Who's narrator 13? Liv? There you go. Or narrator 12 in 13, yeah. That's fine. Brown knobby gnome. Up.
Reynard, what are you doing? Those are the farmer's hens. You know you can't eat them.
Fox?
Hens? Who thought of stealing hens? I was just checking on them to see if they were safe.
I saw you stick your hungry nose through that door. As As long as I'm here, every hen can sit safely on her perch. I know you are hungry. Here you go. Have some of my porridge.
Narrator 14. Who's got a, there we go. Yep.
Old Tom 10 placed a bowl on the ground with warm porridge and butter. The sweet steam of the warm meal made its way to the fox's nose. Every night, the children fill the Tom 10's bowl with porridge. Though they never see him, they know he's there.
It's good, isn't it? Eat, Reynard. You can share my porridge every night if you like, but don't touch the hens.
Well, we'll see. Thank you anyway.
It's on. There you go.
Satisfied and happy, Reynard returned to the forest and his den, and old Tom 10 returned to the hayloft. There in the hay, the cat is waiting for him, looking for milk. The old gnome quietly talks to the cat in his secret Tom 10 language. Of course, you may stay with me, and of course I will give you milk. As Tom 10 covered himself with hay, the bright beams of the morning sun were just starting to make their way across the sky. He's nightly duties over there. He fell fast asleep and dreamed too of summer. Winters come and winters go. Summers come and summers go. Soon the swallows will be here, thought the old gnome.
And scene. Thank you. In coming years, we hope to return to the even more festive atmosphere of this service with all manner of costumes and actions where people get to run up and be close to each other and to wear all kinds of hats and ears and scarves and things. I say this because I think that one of the most important things about Solstice is that it does not require that snow be on the ground. It does not even require a bonfire. What it requires is that we imagine a world full of light. And we hear in each other's voices the playful tone of a story that we find ourselves drawn to and a part of. And in that moment, allow the worries of the world to slip away and remember that there have been times in the history of humankind when we have faced many difficult challenges. And there was a period of time in our history when every winter brought on fears for our survival. Anyone thought about that lately? And every winter, human beings have found the creative capacity to meet that fear with a power much deeper and much stronger, which is joy and gladness and community and story and singing and light. Let that be our vision too. Let us join in the closing hymn this morning, number 1068, The Rising Green, found in your teal hymnals. The like an open sky where the stars forever have lain. Where the stars, where the stars, where the stars forever lay. My hands hold the wavings of time without end. My sight as deep as the sea, eating my heart, sense of measures of old, that the loves of eternity, that of love, that of love, that of love's eternity. I feel the tides as they answer the moon, rushing on a far distant sand. Winging my song is the wind of my breast, and the love blows over the land. And my love, and my love, and my love blows over the land. My foot carries days of the old into new. Our dreaming shows us the way. Wondrous our faith settles deep in the earth, rising green to bring a new day. Rising green, rising green, rising green to bring a new day. Rising green, rising green, rising green to bring a new day. Words of the Navajo to end our time together. Beauty is before us, beauty behind us, above us and below us hovers the beautiful. We are surrounded by it, immersed in it. In our youth, we are aware of it, and in old ages, we shall walk quietly the beautiful trail. In beauty, it is begun. In beauty, it is ended. Amen. And blessed be. Please be seated. Once again, beloved, worship in this place has come to an end, but our service continues. Next, with an opportunity to gather in this room for conversation and fellowship. I hope that you will return to join us for our most festive service of the year, our annual Vespers holiday, our holiday Vespers service that begins at 4 o'clock this afternoon will include our choir, a children's pageant, candle lighting opportunity, an opportunity to see each other in the evening. May yours be a wondrous and wonderful day. I hope that we will see you back here very, very soon.